of race for safety, and then why not push on?
Well, we can see there a number of teammates with him, and that's what you need, you know, to take you around those corners. We can see Bernard Eisel is doing a great job here, going around the corners very, very fast, and the Team Sky guys are just waiting. As long as you have someone who is riding at a fast enough pace, lead them do that, and then when it comes to the point where Sky will feel that they're going to get crowded out, those riders coming up on their left and right, then they will take control and try and, you know, up the pace a bit more.
Again, another wide part of highway, and then all of a sudden it gets cramped. It goes from 3 lanes to 2. It'll go down to single lane as well, and that's why the peloton's really strung out. It's single file at the front with Sky and Dimension Data up towards the 4. Then behind them, they're 4 and 5 wide as a luxury, which is then cramped to 3. It slows down right at the back, and these guys, every single time that there is one of those compressions, they have an advantage, Sean, because they're able to maintain the speed through those squeeze zones.
Well, of course, the small group, 3 riders out in front, you can get through the corners a bit faster. Although in the front of the peloton, I think when you have a one line of riders, as we can see here, the first 10, 12 riders is just one line, they can get through quite quickly. It's further back in the peloton, that's where the problems can be, and we can see now Sky are just going to commit themselves in this final 10 kilometres and get onto the climb with Chris Froome, get onto the final 3 kilometres, and then there will be other riders, of course, within Sky who can stay with Chris Froome, hopefully all the way to the finish.
There's an awful lot of teams looking behind over their shoulder. Here's your 10k to go inflatable right now, and these guys are having fun. It's hardly a bouncy castle, but they may well be smiling at the end. They're about to take on the first of the 2 climbs that feature at the end today, albeit a double phaser for the last. This is the Côte d'Octeville that we're dealing with right now, or we will be in a few moments' time. See the road kicking up ahead of them? Well, it's not categorised, Sean, but it's an important one they're approaching.
Well, it is an important one, and especially for the breakaway. That is, you know, any little kick up at all is going to, you know, take effect here on our 3 men, because they have been, you know, riding at such a fast pace, and especially in the last 20 kilometres, they have, you know, upped the pace. They've been riding close to giving it 100%, and with just 3 men, of course, they're going to pay against a big group of riders, and, you know, new riders appearing, new teams appearing here on the front of the peloton, and that is going to be the difficult one. Q18 at the moment, 9.3. They're holding on, you know, very, very well. Will they have enough? It's going to be very, very tight.
It's going to be extraordinarily tight. Let's see how they go. Edward Tunes is also in here, incidentally. Giant playing with us as well. Nice to see that Tom Dumoulin is reaching for glory, but just about everybody else has got a chance today. The Giant boys in a new livery, white with black stripes, a positive after the negative. Their car incident. 2 minutes and 13 then. You see Tekla Hamanot, one of those who's been tagged off the back. He'll be on other sorts of duty later on. I think that Paul Voss will want to take the points if he can possibly get them. 2 minutes and 10, 8.9 to go. Well, according to the rule of thumb, they've got a fantastic chance here, but they are starting to run out here of resources, and Paul Voss in the polka dot jersey really looks like he's starting to pedal squares, and this is not even the categorized climb that we're going to be dealing with. Notable dry road surface, and in only 6 kilometres time where we are, it's a wet road surface, Sean. All kinds of weather, all kinds of possibilities today.
Yes, well, it's all happening out there, and we can see how 3 leaders, they are really struggling here. This is where they're going to lose, you know, a lot of time, because the peloton will, you know, go up this little climb much, much faster, and that 2 minutes, I think we will see that, you know, melting down rapidly, and we can see here in the bunch, you know, the splits everywhere. That tells the pace is majorly high back in main peloton.
Well, they're taking this at 13 and 14 kilometres per hour. It's picking up now as they just get to the plateau with the Côte d'Octeville. This may well be and a nice kick-off, and of course it had to be Stuyven, and he's gone. This is full attack. This is for stage glory today from Stuyven. Took the Kern, Brussels Kern. He is explosive. He can go for this sort of moment. Now he's got a downhill crest here, downhill. Then he's got 2 kilometres before he gets to the final climb. Can he make it, Sean?
Well, I think he decides to go alone, because he probably feels that some of the riders are not, contributing their maximum, and for that reason Stuyven decides to go it alone. And with 8.4 to go, if you're feeling good, you just go it alone. Then you're not concerned about getting onto the final climb with somebody who has been sparing a bit of energy. And I think team orders, for Stuyven, if you've got anything left in the tank, 151 at the moment, just go for it.
Yeah, just go for it. And the main contenders won't be worried about Stuyven, but some of those who are looking for stage glory might well be. Tony Martin doing the pacing for Julian Alaphilippe and Dan Martin. I'll be bound with 8.1 to go. 1 minute and 48 is the gap that Stuyven has. And here comes Edvald Boasson-Hagen also into the frame. There's going to be a lot of losers here today if Stuyven makes it all the way to the line. And he can do this, but the pace, the gap is starting to tumble down. 8 Ks to go now, and he's on the descent is Stuyven, while these guys engage the climb. Kittel burying himself as well, wants to keep up. G's up towards the 4 here. Chris Froome starting to use his shoulders. Everybody's looking for space here, and there's not a great deal of it around. There is Peter Sagan as well, who was denied yesterday, finished third. Could be a day's winner, but he's got ground to make up, and it's Stuyven that's leading the day. Some big pickups from those who are finding themselves feeling a little bit second-hand at the moment, I'm afraid. But there's going to be plenty more of those by the time we get to the end. That was Domenico Pontevillo trying to pick it up. There he is from AG2 on the Mondial. Sam Dumoulin a little bit further up the road to him. 7.5 kilometres to go. Remind you that Stuyven trails by only 10 seconds. If he wins today, he'll be taking over the leader's jersey. It won't just be about a stage win. Let's see if he makes it. 7.3 to go. 1.5 minutes, a little bit more than that. He's still got. Now he's on the little descent. Oh, and he takes it shaky. Put a bit too much in there. Nearly got into the hay bales. Drives it downhill, down to the port side. And then he's got to time trial himself, Sean. He's got to get 2 kilometres under his belt before he takes on the climb.
Yes, and it's looking really difficult for him. Still with 7k to go, 130 at the moment. So we can see there's a lot of teams and new guys appearing on the front there. We can see BMC has put a man in the front. It looks like Caruso, who is setting the pace, but Greg Van Avermaet, and he is one of the ones today who feels that he can do something here. And I think this final climb of 3 kilometres for Jesper Stuyven is going to be too much.
Valverde is also getting in the frame. Edvald Boasson-Hagen offers up a warning as well. It's taken with thanks by Ethics Quickstep. Eddie Voss, the man who, of course, Dimension Data would love to take the day after sterling work yesterday, also having taken a tumble. Mark Cavendish would love to see Edvald Boasson-Hagen do it as well. Here we go. This is that downhill run. It's almost like a ski ramp, if you like. It's going to feel like that. He's got to stay safe, though. He's not in the wet section up on the hill where we are at the moment, but he comes into a very technical part of town, down to Harbourside, Sean, and, well, let's have a look at what he's going to deal with. Oh, goodness me, paint. That's another thing as well when it's damp, and he's going to hit the brakes here. Let's hope he stays on board. It's a nasty, nasty approach at speed.
Well, I think for a road rider, you have all the road there to play with, and Stuyven, we can see that he's going at and very, very fast rate. But back in the peloton, that's where it's going to be difficult when you have a number of riders, 3 or 4 riders across the road trying to get through those very fast downhill sections. And there's a lot of more street corners to come here as we go to the close to 5Ks to go.
Still, he has 1.5 minutes, just 90 tenuous seconds. We know he's strong. We know he's very good late on. He was in the Brussels Kern, a proper classics man's day, this sort of thing, which is why we picked out, of course, the likes of Peter Sagan, the likes of Van Avermaet, Alaphilippe, Dan Martin, you name them. They should feature here. Cancellara likewise. Cancellara, of course, is not going to do any pushing on, not with Jesper Stuyven, his teammate, with a chance today, and he's still holding 1 minute and 30. Here we go. It's the drive towards his climb. Will it be his? Will he conquer it, Sean?
Well, I would love to see him do it, because he's definitely put up a great performance already today. But on this final climb, it's going to be difficult. When you have to ride, at this rate, 60 kilometres per hour on the downhill certainly, then it's difficult to hold it on the climb.
Oh, nightmare further back. Surely not
Richie Porte.
It is. I was going to say surely not Richie Porte, and it is. Oh my goodness, remember, no 3K rule here, and this is a very slow change. It's a Mavic neutral service, and this is time ticking away for Richie Porte. The shoulder starts to drop here. I hope he can pick it up. Meanwhile, the pace is being maintained by this man. Look at that, he's still got 1 minute and 29. My life, he's taken a double right-hander, which the peloton will be getting to any moment now, and he's on the approach to our climb. It starts with 3.2 to go. He's got 1 more kilometre. Now, how's this for a pinch point? That you're going to have to roll the dice if you're in a group of riders who are mobbing the road. It goes from 4 lanes to just about half of one.
Yes, and just looking at Richie Porte there, it's cruel to see him there. The team car, of course, not there because lots of riders getting dropped on the previous climb and getting from the neutral Mavic car, getting a wheel there, but taking a long time. It'll be very difficult to see him make it back into the peloton with the way they're going at the moment. It's high speed, and we can see there the pinch zones. Although the peloton is starting to stretch out a lot, and that is a little bit safer, but again, we'll have to see how they make it through.
Still 1 minute and 20, just about, slightly less than that. Jefferson's the last of the bottles. I don't think there was any fluid in there whatsoever, but he maintains exactly that. A fluid approach right now. Great cadence, great desire. He's had success this year. This will top even that, Sean.
Yes, well, he is, a real powerful rider on the flat, and if he had a flat running, of course, then he would be home and dry. He would get his stage victory here, but this kick up in the end, this is going to be where it's going to be a real test for him, being out there so long. I'm afraid to keep this pace going with the peloton coming up so quickly, unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to see him holding on.
Let's have a look. There we are, 1.9 kilometres, 6.5%, except it doesn't tell you that there's an area of 14% and more within it. Look at the speed of Stuyven just stripping away. 27 kilometres now. That's going to get into the teens before you know it. And here come the chasers. 1 minute and 18 down on a narrow section of road that can barely accommodate 4 wide, 3 wide just about with some comfort, but also with danger signs going off. And alarm bells ringing for Stuyven, 26 k's an hour according to his data. Just for the time being, they've got a steady approach themselves, Sean, because they're also thinking about having lieutenants around them, particularly the GC men who are mobbing towards the front.
Well, I think, the peloton is still on an easier section where Stuyven is in the difficult part here. He's on the climb already, and the pace of the peloton will drop off a lot, but I think, as we can see on the front of the peloton, there's riders there who will just give it 100% for a couple of 100 metres and then peel off.
Right, Stuyven is going to take a gentle right-hander on this road. He hasn't actually got to the loop just yet. Look at the pace that's picking up. This is for Valverde, of course. Movistar also getting involved. Good to see Orica Bike Exchange also up towards the fore. They've got Matthews and Gerrans as they collect our friend from Fortuneo, Vanguard Breen, who was out there today. Tinkoff still pushing on. This, we remind you, is for Peter Sagan. Can't quite see Sagan in his rainbow jersey just for the time being, but the road is so wide at this point, and Kirienka as well, gritting his teeth and baring his teeth, I should say. Dan Martin just starting to show himself. He and Alaphilippe riding this up together. That's terrific to see. And the French champion, Arthur Vichot, also coming over to the side of the road. Now then, this is where you've suddenly got to start grinding it, and somebody's going to reach out. Is Navadauskas going to have a dig here?
No, I don't think it's Navadauskas. He's been riding on the front for quite a long time, so it's just
Flacco, I think.
Some of the other riders. Flacco possibly would be a finish that he could put in a good finish.
Wow, we'll see. Wearing an aero helmet, why not? Give it a go. 55 seconds now, 2.2 to go. On the toughest part of the climb is the man who's up front. We can't see him at the moment, but he's on the loop. He's on the loop. He'll have a downhill run as well once he reaches a peak where the KOM point is. These guys haven't got there yet. No, he's still fighting. Out the saddle, back in it, back out of it. Dry section of road, remarkably. It's dried up so quickly. Oh, there goes Paul Voss saying, you have it if you want it. And they're wrestling the course at the moment. 2 kilometres to go. He's still got 40 seconds. If he hits the downhill run in about 600 metres time, then he's got a great chance here. Mark Cavendish, number 101, wearing the yellow jersey, not going to be on his back at the end of the day, but a fabulous result for him. Could it be another one? This time for Jesper Stuyven, who's up the road. All ambitions can be burnt on this kind of incline. Chris Froome, dead centre of the road there, also just maintaining a great safe position as we speak. Still no sign of Peter Sagan, but he is there. He's got a teammate just in front of him. 1.7 kilometres to go, and the downhill section will beckon before you know it.
Yes, well, we can see here now they're turning off the main road, and this is where it goes into the narrow section. It kicks up immediately, and a little bit further up here, 500-600 metres, a little bit less, we kick up to that 14%, and we can see Richie Ford here fighting to try and get back in, but there's so many riders getting dropped here, it's going to be difficult for him. We could see Mark Cavendish in difficulty also, but we can see there it looks like the Cannondale rider is Tommy the Slackster. He's pushing on, he's been pulled back now, and it's the team of Contador who is taking control.
Massive push by Kreuziger on behalf of Peter Sagan, but this man is still going. Jesper Stuyven, and he's going to crest, and he's going to have a downhill run in just a few moments' time. He's going to get to that KOM point, and then it's going to be downhill. Not entirely to the line, however, we remind you. He's on the little tiny loop up near what we believe is the mare's hound. Everyone else is starting to wrestle with it. I think he's going to make this short. 59 seconds Stuyven has over the chasers at the moment. Here's Peter Sagan who gets back in the saddle. Oh, very, very difficult day to master, and the gap is growing out to a minute.
Yes, and it's amazing the way he's, got up this climb. I thought he would struggle a lot more, and he is, really powered up this climb, considering, there's new riders appearing all the time as he goes to this little bit of a downhill.
I think he's going to get this. 1.2 from home. He's now going to go downhill and then almost unkindly kick again. The camera bike just sails by him. Thank heaven for that, safely. Still Peter Sagan, who dreamt of glory today. Van Avermaet, Valverde are there. Dan Martin along with Alaphilippe. There's that nasty turn. Now there's an even nastier one later on still to come, I'm afraid. Minute 6 Stuyven's got now.
No, I don't think we can see here. It looks like Stuyven is just out in front here, so that's time check is not the right one. We can see the peloton is about to close down on him, so the time checks are not correct.
Well, forgive me, I'm reading the graphics. I'm not looking at the pictures. Here we are, then Stuyven picks it up right now, and the grind that's been put into this, that's a shame that we were led to believe something else because of the graphics. We can only apologise. There we are then. It is a terrific push that's being put on at the moment by Kreuziger. Takes the final turn. This is a drive up to the line, and they're on his case. Now, can Peter Sagan win it in the last 500 metres? Well, normally, yes, but what a day it has this been. Stuyven's still going for it, still being guided into position, and here's Chris Froome. He's going to get a top 10. There's Dan Martin as well. I think it's going to be heartbreak finally at the 500-metre mark. That's going to be the catching of Stuyven. Sad for him, but we're going to have a glorious run right now. Van Avermaet's here. Here comes Alaphilippe dancing on the pedals. He goes for the barrier. Alaphilippe looks almost brightly at the moment. Valverde is there as well. Sagan's also there. What have they got? Van Avermaet's also here, and here's Pareto on the barriers as well. This is fascinating. It's time to deliver. Who's got what it takes? They're licking their lips. They're going to feast on this, but somebody's going to burst for it. Sagan's not got just yet. Here comes Alaphilippe. He tries to find a bit more power, and he gets it. Alaphilippe, the young man. Oh, but there's more to be played out here. It is Matthews who gets it. Then goes Sagan. He swaps places with Alaphilippe. Sagan on the drive. The world champion versus Alaphilippe. Oh, what a finish that was. Sagan takes it. Alaphilippe smashed the handlebars with disquiet. But what a day we have seen. And the clock still rolls, we remind you, right now. Yes, there will be. This is Contador, who takes a double tumble, don't forget, as well. He's been guided home. Oh, my life. What a day. What a finish. What a race we've got here.
As we see Contador here just fighting to get to the line, and he's going to lose quite a bit of time, plus the 30 seconds, so it's a day that some of the general classification men are going to lose time that they prefer not to, but we see that sprint there. Sagan, very impressive. Alaphilippe, looking like he maybe was able to come over him, but nobody. I thought Michael Matthews looked like he was going to start his sprint, but also did not have it. Sagan proving the strongest.
Good strong performance by Mark Cavendish, who'll say farewell to the yellow jersey. It hasn't looked comfortable on the arms today. He's been fiddling away with what looks like very, very narrow sleeves over the bicep. Well, he won't have to bear it for another day. I think he would have taken it. But Very brave performance by not only Mark Cavendish, but of course to mention Data. What a fantastic finish. Sagan, world champion. Nearest man to him, Julian Alaphilippe, a man we called earlier on today the mini Sagan, as the French press call, and they were 1 and 2.
Yes, and Valverde third also there, you know, very close to the first and second, but what a battle, and what a ride by Jesper Stuyven. You know, he put in a great fight there, considering this very difficult run in, but as we said, it was going to be a final here where we could